The Spanish patrol ship Furor P-46 sets sail to escort a humanitarian aid mission to Gaza into a Mediterranean Sea already fraught with tension. Could this be a naval diplomacy turning point? A few days ago, the global Flotilla, some 50 civilian vessels carrying humanitarian aid toward Gaza, came under drone attack while in international waters south of Greece. According to Associated Press, at least 10 of the flotilla vessels suffered communications interference and minor explosions, with no casualties reported, but with serious concerns raised about the vulnerability of humanitarian convoys. The flotilla was not a military formation. It consisted of fishing boats, small cargo vessels, and yachts carrying food, medicine, and essential supplies for civilians trapped in Gaza. The attack, even though limited in damage, sent a chilling message that humanitarian corridors at sea are never truly safe in a contested region. In response, the Spanish government announced deployment of a warship from the naval base in Cartagena to escort and shield the flotilla. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez made that declaration at the UN General Assembly, framing it as both a humanitarian responsibility and an assertion of international law. The move was widely covered by European outlets including El País and internationally by Al Jazeera and Reuters, which noted the unprecedented nature of a European Union member deploying an offshore patrol vessel for a humanitarian mission in contested waters. Now, attention zeroes in on OPV Furor P-46, a Meteor-class patrol vessel chosen as the naval spearhead for protection in this sensitive mission. The Meteoro-class, known in Spain as BOM, or Buque de Acción Marítima, represents a new philosophy of naval design. Built by Navantia, these ships are not large destroyers or heavily armed frigates. Instead, they embody modularity, flexibility, and endurance, designed to perform a wide range of roles from low-intensity combat to disaster relief. As highlighted by Jane's Defense Weekly, Spain sought a vessel that could be deployed anywhere from the Horn of Africa for anti-piracy to the Caribbean for disaster relief, and still serve as a credible naval presence in the Mediterranean. Since the Gaza conflict erupted on October 7, 2023, delivering aid to Gaza's coastal areas has been challenged by Israel's naval blockade. Convoys of trucks were often delayed or turned back at land crossings, while air delivery remained restricted. That is why international activists and NGOs organized flotillas, hoping the symbolism of civilian boats would draw global attention. But symbolism does not stop hostile drones or naval blockades. Some European nations, Spain and Italy among them, have taken more assertive humanitarian postures, opting for naval intervention as both protest and responsibility. On foreign policy, Spain's government emphasizes adherence to international law and civilian protection, while admitting that dispatching a warship into a conflict zone carries high diplomatic risks. Furor is the fifth ship of the Meteoro-class, commissioned in 2019, and its selection for this mission reflects both availability and suitability. Here are the key technical specifications for Furor and the Meteoro-class. Length 93.9 meters, beam approximately 14.2 meters, draft about 4.2 to 4.3 meters. Displacement 2,840 tons, slightly heavier than earlier versions thanks to additional modular capacity. According to Naval News, this makes them one of the most versatile OPVs in Europe. Crew roughly 46 personnel, expandable depending on mission profile, cruising speed about 20 knots, maximum speed 22 knots, range 8,000 nautical miles at economical speed, which allows crossing from Spain to the eastern Mediterranean without refueling. Endurance roughly 35 days of autonomous operation, meaning Furor can remain on station for over a month, ideal for long escorts. Propulsion, a Co-DE system, combined diesel or electric, which grants both efficiency and reliability. In standard mode, diesel engines power the ship for cruising, while electric motors allow quiet, economical operations crucial in low-intensity missions where fuel economy and reduced signatures matter. Two controllable PIX propellers give flexibility and speed control, while a bow thruster ensures maneuverability in tight harbors or during close escort formations. Sensors and electronics: the Indra Skyfender radar system, capable of tracking both surface and aerial targets, a VisionMaster FT navigation radar, IFF transponders, the FABA Adorna 2 combat management system, and an electro-optical surveillance suite. Armament: a 76mm Otto Mellera super rapid naval gun positioned at the bow, versatile enough to engage both surface threats and air targets such as drones. Supporting weapons include two 25mm M242 Bushmaster autocannons, each remotely operated, and two 12.7mm Browning heavy machine guns for close defenses. Additional features: a helicopter deck and hangar capable of operating medium helicopters, like the SH-60B Seahawk, the AB-212, or even unmanned aerial vehicles. Two 7-meter RHIBs provide rapid interception and boarding capability, critical for inspecting small boats approaching the convoy. This combination of endurance, modularity, and moderate firepower makes the Furor a ship designed not for naval battles against destroyers, but for constabulary and humanitarian roles in contested environments. The decision to deploy Furor into a conflict zone raises the risk of diplomatic escalation. If the vessel is engaged or intercepted, Spain may be seen as an active military actor in the Gaza conflict rather than a neutral humanitarian supporter. This blurring of military and humanitarian lines is what makes the mission so delicate. Logistical and maritime security pose challenges: the threat of hostile drones, fast attack craft, or even electronic warfare disrupting communications. Although Furor carries advanced sensors, it is not a heavily armed combatant. Its primary defense lies in situational awareness and international legitimacy. Spain's strategic intent might combine multiple layers: asserting a humanitarian stance, protesting Israel's naval blockade, projecting naval capability, and rallying European support for Gaza aid. Security analysts note that a European military presence in eastern Mediterranean waters may provoke reactions from local actors like Israel, or from regional powers such as Turkey, which also claims maritime influence. Furthermore, non-state actors could see the escort mission as a political challenge, potentially testing the ship's resolve with harassment tactics. There is also reputational risk. If an incident occurs, whether a collision, a drone strike, or miscalculation, the mission could be reframed by adversaries as a military intervention rather than a humanitarian shield. Regionally, Spain's action could escalate tensions between Israel and European states, especially over maritime law and freedom of navigation. Israel has long maintained that naval blockades are legitimate tools of security, while humanitarian activists argue they violate the Geneva Conventions. Globally, this deployment sets a precedent: smaller NATO and EU states using naval assets not in combat coalitions, but in humanitarian proxy complex. International media outlets from The Guardian to The War Zone have questioned whether this represents the beginning of a new era where naval forces act both as warriors and humanitarians. If commission succeeds without incident, Spain's reputation in international forums may strengthen, especially on human rights, humanitarian law, and naval diplomacy. The country could leverage this success to gain more influence within the European Union's common defense policy and to position itself as a moral leader in Mediterranean affairs. Conversely, one small mistake could backfire diplomatically in a major way. If the ship were attacked, even if it defended itself effectively, the escalation could ripple across NATO, the EU, and Middle Eastern diplomacy. The humanitarian mission would then transform into a geopolitical flashpoint. Now we wait. Will Furor prove that an OPV-class patrol ship can act as a guardian of humanity at sea? What happens if this vessel comes under drone fire or opposing patrols?
Can a 94-meter patrol vessel carry the weight of international expectations? Leave your opinion in the comments. Is Spain's move bold, necessary, or dangerously risky? And if you want more military and geopolitical analysis content, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.